Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Day 5 WAI Summit UTeM 2021. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Sharifah Sakina from University Technical Malaysia Melaka, your MC for today. So, I would like to thank you all for joining us today for this special keynote speech. I hope all of you are ready for our amazing keynote speaker, Datuk Yasmin Mahmud. First, let me introduce to you this lovely lady. Datuk Yasmin Mahmud is one of the premier name in Malaysia IT industry, who is known for her outstanding leadership qualities and visions. She started her career as an analyst programmer with a local bank after graduating with a double major in computer science and mathematics. Datuk Yasmin has served both the public and private sector, including top leadership position in Microsoft Malaysia, Hewlett Packard, Dell Asia Pacific, and Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC. Presently, Datuk Yasmin serves in the non-executive roles, including as Chair of Harold Watt University, Malaysia, Board, and Chair of SkyMind Holding Berhad, a global leader in AI technology. She also currently serves on the board of Malaysia Industrial Development Finance, MITF, Bintulu Port Holding, and board of trustee for Yayasan Peneraju Pendidikan Bumiputra. Datuk Yasmin has also presented Malaysia and ASEAN at major international events, which include the World Economic Forum, International Telecommunication Union, the World Islamic Economic Forum, as well as having been interviewed by international media such as Forbes, The Economist, CNBC, and Bloomberg for her thought and insight. In 2018, Datuk Yasmin was recognized as one of the world's 100 most influential people in digital government by Apolitical, an independent UK global network for government which focuses on helping public servants find solutions to issues. I'm glad to welcome Datuk Yasmin to present her speech. Pass to you, Datuk Yasmin.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. And thank you for those kind words. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, although I know you must be very tired, 5 days. So bear with me. We have just an hour together with us. So first of all, I just want to say that, those kind words that Dr. Sharifah Sakina has said, there's one thing that was really missing, and that's very important one, and that's the fact that I'm a Mek Kelantan. I'm from Pasir Mas, Kelantan, and I've been in the industry. I'm a science geek. I'm a tech geek, and I fell in love with science. First, I fell in love with physics, then with maths, and then with computer science. And now it is the whole world of digitalization of technology that has really has made me feel very young, because things changing all the time. So anyway, this is what I want to talk to you today. I know that I've seen the topics that were already presented before. It sounds like you have been exposed. It looks like you have been exposed to a very broad spectrum of AI in general as a technology, as well as the impact of AI in the various sectors. So what I want to do today is just to give you a bit of a broader perspective from where I came on, and it is from the perspective of somebody who's been in the industry for 30 years, like I said, and who is still currently very active, although in non-executive roles, but still very active in the world of technology, as well as in the world of disruptive innovation. And how do we prepare the world and especially our young talents towards this world of disruption? So let me start off. If if I can have the first slide on, let me just give you just a snapshot. Can I get the next slide? Okay. So this is not something, I'm sure it's something that you are very familiar about, and this is about the just the level of disruption and the level of innovative disruption or disruptive innovation that we are currently facing. For somebody who's been in the industry for 30 years and who has seen it all, I would say that I've seen it all from when I first came out. Technology or computer science was really a back end thing, right? So when you want to do any coding, you got to go to a quiet room and you got to do your key in your coding and send it to a big huge machine to do the to do the processing, and then you come back and and throughout the years I have seen just how much things have changed in terms of when Bill Gates first stated, make this big pronouncement about computing power on every desktop, and then all the way when Steve Jobs makes the pronouncement about computing power in the palm of your hands. And I went through the internet boom and in the internet bust, so all of those I have been through it, but I have never been as excited, as thrilled, and also as afraid of technology and of innovation as it is right now. And because the reason is because if you look at all of these buckets of technology and innovation, in its own right, they are themselves explosive. But the real power is in when you combine them together, when they come together, and also enabled by this big enabling force, or the force, when people say, may the force be with you, I am so convinced that the force actually is the force of the internet at this where we're coming from right now. So if you have the next slide, and you just to have a sense of the power of the internet, which really can bring innovation to grassroots level at the speed of just a snap of the finger. And why do I say that? If you look at the innovation, very big innovation of telephone, it took 75 years for the telephone to reach 50 million users. And it took the TV, the television, it took 13 years. But if you look at, in the era of the internet, Google took only 88 days, and Angry Bird took only 35 days. And I was told, like, if I remember correctly, Pokemon Go took only like 4 days to get to 50 million users. So this is where we are right now in the aspect of digitalization and innovation coming to mainstream really fast, and it's disrupting. And I'm sure you have heard throughout the last 5 days just how much of a disruptive force this is in each of the sector. And if I can go to the next slide, and I just want to give you an example. This is a very simple example, and I chose this slide because right now the whole world is abuzz with the incoming of digital banks. It was been spoken about for the last 5 years, but now it's becoming real because countries are really issuing out digital banks, and Malaysia is no exception. And I think the tender, or so-called the application, closed off, I think, a couple of months ago, if not last month, and they'll be announcing supposedly the word has it that there'll be 5 new digital banking license. So if you look at if you look at in the past market capitalization of the top 10 largest companies in the world, they were traditionally being dominated by the Exxon Mobils of the world, by the car manufacturer. But if you look at where we are right now, it's all the top 8, I believe 7 or 8 out of the top 10 are all technology based companies. And if you look at me closer to home, Malaysia, like I mentioned, digital bank license, it will be issued, and the contenders are people like C. C is basically the Singapore-based conglomerate that owns Shopee, and Shopee already has an existing technology platform. But what's more important is the fact that the market capitalization is 145 billion, compared to Maybank, who is our largest bank right now. Bank is 22, so they have what, more than 6 times that of market capitalization. So how does the likes of Maybank compete with the new players who are basically digital first, or they are innovating. These are the innovators. So, and you can see this happening all across the world. But out of all of the disruptive innovation that I've mentioned about, all the buckets, there is one bucket that will be will be the most disruptive, will be the most mainstream, and will impact every aspect of our lives. And this is the world of the AI. If you go to the next slide, I mean, this is something that's people always talk about, fourth industrial revolution. People talk about deep tech. People talk about so many things. But what is the one thing that will be anchoring? So the way I look at it is that AI is no longer going to be a bucket amongst all of the bucket of innovation. AI will actually be the backbone. Will be the backbone of all of this innovation, because AI will have to touch every aspect, and it will be kind of like the enabler and also the catalyst for all other innovation to come forward. And there have been many discussions about the impact of AI, the good of it, the bad of it, and the ugly of it. Elon Musk says that it's about summoning the demon. And if you look at what Sundar Pichai said, that is the most important thing. And this really caught me. I mean, the rest of it, yes, there's an element of drama to it. But what Sundar Pichai said is that AI is probably the most important thing humanity has ever worked on, more profound than electricity or fire. Now, that's very exciting, but it's also very scary, as I said earlier. Now, if you look at the impact from just the perspective of economic impact. So if you look at the next slide, please. So this is what is being forecasted, that AI alone can drive GDP gains of 15.7 trillion, which is could be for those who adopt AI. This could be from the region of 14% to 26% by the year 2020. I believe it's by the year 2030. Right? And this is through the improvement in productivity, the improvements in personalization, and overall improvement of efficiency and cost and intelligence. So therefore you can see this, and I mentioned that AI will be here mainstream, will be fast and furious. It is not something that will be spoken. I mean, if you think about it, AI has been spoken during even the days when I was in school, but now is the time when AI is the coming of age of AI, and it's really, really fast. And I want to give an example. This example is closer to home, closer to, and I apologize for this possible plug-in, but I want to give an example of SkyMind, which is the company that I'm now the chairman for, and the company that is so exciting that I decided to take, to come out of semi-retirement and really be active in this company. So SkyMind is an AI company, and the creator of deep learning for J. For those of you who are working with AI would know that this is the machine learning, and this is the deep learning platform that companies such as NASA and even companies like Apple and Huawei, this is really the fundamental layer of deep learning and machine learning, the platform that enables the building of these models. So we are technically a young company, but in a span of 3 years, our technology and our footprint has increased to the to massively to a global footprint. And this is not unique to SkyMind, although I must say that SkyMind is one of those really fast growing companies. But you can see this across. I mean, you can see that the percentage of VC funds that is being absorbed by AI based companies is at the highest level over the last couple of years. So just look again, going back to this example in SkyMind, in just a short 3 years, we have now moved to 17 countries. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like growing every month. So now it's 17 countries globally, including a very big footprint in China. And I've always said that I predicted 3 years ago that China will overtake the US. And I think now, although nobody speaks about it formally, but I mean, just basing on the observation, China is really, really so advanced in the area of AI. So SkyMind and in China has got a joint venture that that really forms that really says that all of the enterprises, state-owned enterprises and government in China actually standardize on the SkyMind DL4J platform. And we have expanded over, to UK, where we have got a venture funds, 800 million venture funds to invest in some of these technology companies that are anchored on AI. And of course, we've got companies throughout Europe and in Malaysia. So I do want to talk about because two out of the three founders are actually Malaysians. So we have really expanded the Malaysia footprint into something that is, of course, plug into the overall development centers across the world. But we are also doing some really exciting innovation, because in Malaysia right now, from like what, last year, in just 1.5 years, we grew from 35 people to now 200. Let me see what's that number, because we just had our town hall 2 days ago. Yeah, the number was 210 in just over 1.5 years during a pandemic. So you can see that, I mean, like I said, this is an example of the explosive growth, which represents the explosive opportunities of, of AI. And you'll see this across the world of AI companies just growing at really at a very fast speed. Now, and the kind of innovation that is coming out of like a company like ours could be as chunky or as sophisticated as building the next generation of AIoT motherboards, to be used for fast deployment of integrated IoT with AI. Or it could be also working on the next generation of or what's the term, like the word just slipped my mind. But next generation innovation with companies like in Japan, like companies like NEC and so on. So very high tech, very deep AI based of technology, but it can also span into something that is really, really innovative, simple but innovative. And I want to give you an example, because this is something really hot off the press. If you go to the next slide, you will see that yesterday. You'll see all this coming out yesterday, and this is media coverage of a brand new solution that we announced yesterday. It's called the VPass. I won't go through all of it, obviously, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because it's hot off the press yesterday, and also it signifies something which I truly believe in, which is that when you want to solve big problems, you have to count on innovation, you have to count on technology and digitalization, in this case AI, and you have to count on the courage of entrepreneurship. And this is what was brought in. If you go to the next slide, please. So basically, people were talking about the fact that, because now COVID-19 is the biggest problem that you have right now. So this is really what VPass is. It's really a platform, a solution to enable frequent testing. First, by combining the next generation sort of a self-testing kit, the antigen test kit, which was developed in Oxford. And what's more important is the fact that is able to cross to that level of affordability. This is a pass that is at 490 per day, because it comes with a self-test kit, which is priced at below 10 ringgit. The first one, and if you know that everybody's been talking about the fact that there's no self-test kit, government had to force down the price to go to below 990, but it takes innovation. Takes innovation to be able to find that efficiency to drive the pricing down, because it is what the consumers need. At this kind of price points, can only you do the kind of frequent testing that is needed. And the next slide. And if you look at how it's being done, this is basically bringing in simple innovation. This is how, if you take a test kit right now, what do you have to do? You have to update to MySejahtera. You use manual, but whether or not it is you, whether or not it is fraudulent, you don't know. But this is where you combine it with an app, and then you hover it. You basically just hovering it through a technology, and it will automatically issue out a pass that companies can then use to track all their employees. And what it means is that we can go out there with comfort, with confidence, because it is safer. And just quickly go to the next couple of slides. So basically, it will show. Next slide, please. It will show, if you are green, then it will show the green. So can you imagine going to a restaurant? They say that, okay, or this restaurant has got everybody needs to be there. Not only you get to be vaccinated, but you also have a V pass. So I'm sorry, like I said, I'm sorry for the plug-in, because I'm really excited about this simple innovation. And I was really there from day one, from the time when this idea came up with it. Somebody, our global CEO, our founder, came up with the idea, and how the tech team, our amazing AI engineers and our amazing technical team actually came together to really develop this solution right in Malaysia. And how are we able to do that? It is because of our ability to develop AI talent, which is the next slide, please. And this is the most important thing. Um, there is, we are doing so many things in order to develop. And I say develop, I emphasize develop, because you cannot find them. You cannot go out there and say, okay, I'm looking for AI engineers, and you expect to have CVs or applications. You cannot, because there is so much demand for it, and there is no ready supply. So what we have to do is we really have to work with universities. We even work with universities, and I know we're working with UTeM, or we're in discussions with UTeM, to really work with UTeM to look at, okay, this is what we need, because we are developing, we are like hiring thousands in the future. We are hiring hundreds now, but in the very near future, we'll be hiring thousands of AI engineers, and the resources around the AI ecosystem. So we're working with universities. We're also working with our industry within the current workforce. And what's also important is the learning campus. Okay, this is where we value add to the universities, is because we have real life examples, we have real life projects, and we are right here in Malaysia. For somebody who has worked with a lot of multinationals, is really really so empowering and so exciting to be able to have the actual R&D done in the backyard, as opposed to having it in HQ somewhere in the US or somewhere in Europe. But now it's in the backyard, so we are opening it up so that there will be a hands-on, project-based, and project-based sort of sharing and learning between the academia and between the industry, right? So, and it is not easy. The team in Scammer would know that it's not easy to find it, because there is huge gap everywhere. But it's encouraging, because if you look at the next slide, it's encouraging. I'm encouraging, and I'm encouraged, and I am optimistic about the future talent in our country. Right? The reason why is because when we do it right and we try hard enough to develop them, we are able to find the likes of the three people that we have picked up here. They are all from local university, and they are amazing. And look at what the kind of things that they are doing right now. They are building models on couplet recognition. They're building models on optical character recognition, smart energy monitoring system. And they're only 24, 25, 21. But we had to do a lot of work because of the and I say this again, the talent is really the key component of enabling AI. So now I want to take our discussion broader even, right? I want to talk about the impact of AI, which I know you know the impact over the last five days, and I hope with whatever overview that I gave just now, it also has given you a little bit more of an overview of the impact of AI. But the two most, and I want to zoom down now on the impact of AI. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. I want to impact on this. I want to focus on this impact of AI in terms of future proving talent for jobs of the future. Now, and we cannot, I mean, I know we have spoken about this. I know there's a lot of discussions around jobs are going to change. There's a lot of discussions around, is AI going to replace jobs? Is it going to augment jobs? Is it going to do, how is it going to manifest itself? And the truth is that, we don't know for certain. We don't know for certain. I mean, I believe that obviously what's for certain is that AI will impact every job. Okay, and why do I say this? And if you look at history, and this is a simple analogy, but I like using this analogy because it really gives, I believe, gives a good sense of what is ahead of us. And if you, I mean, and this analogy is very simply, in the 90s, when there is this, when our the economy was really anchored on the horses. So we have horse carriages, we have stables, we have whole industry around building stables and horse grooming. And when the automobiles, when motor carriages first came in, and I have looked at um, some of the headlines of those days. These are real headlines of actual newspapers, that were archived, and the headlines were saying things like, "Will horses make way for motos? Will we be whipped out of?" Out of the world. I mean, these kind of things, and these are the same kind of discussions that we're talking right now about, will robots take over the world? Will we have to make way for automation? So this is the same kind of question. But look what happens. So when innovation is good, humanity will just find way to make it work. And in the end, we know what happened. In the end, we know that automobiles really did replace the horses. But in terms of jobs, you could say that, yeah, jobs were lost, but it wasn't that jobs were lost, jobs were replaced, right? So, instead of having people who were these horse stables and all these things, now we have people who are mechanics, who are car designers and so on. So then if you take a broader view, then what are the jobs of the future, right? And if you look at different sources, you'll have different predictions, so to speak. So, and these are all really so exciting. I mean, the things that you never heard of. Like, for you look at drone traffic optimizer. Now, by the way, when I was doing showing this kind of slides about what, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was we were already talking about jobs, new jobs, right? And at that time, drone pilots were a job of the future. But guess what? Drone pilots now are in the midst of getting themselves, are already, I believe, are already displaced. And therefore, you have now things like drone traffic optimizer. So the point I'm trying to make is that, the it will evolve. It will be a world where the goalpost is uncertain. The path there also is mired with all sorts of uncertainties and new forces that comes in. Now, even but if you were to just take a look at a shorter time frame, looking at jobs of the 2020s, you can have the next slide. Jobs of the 20s, right? And you know that this is a very Malaysian centric. So jobs of the 2020s, if you look at it, right? If you look at it, these are really, really AI based and digitalization based kind of job. You have analysts and scientists. Like in SkyMind right now, we are hiring data scientists. We are hiring AI and machine learning specialists. We are hiring big data specialists. We are hiring data engineers, basically, right? So these are all the jobs, and they are changing as well. I mean, this, they were not, I mean, I know that just a couple of years ago, software and application developers were really in the top, right? I mean, they're still there, but you look at the new type of jobs that are coming in store. So based on that, based on the fact that jobs are moving, and we know it's going to move, we know through history, and I hope history doesn't repeat itself. I mean, I'm encouraged because we are talking about it a lot, but I'm also worried because, what they say, the one thing we learn from history is that people don't learn from history. So I hope this is not going to be the case, because it is the fact where these jobs will evolve. AI will come in and become such a dominant, I wouldn't say it will replace it, but it will catalyze and it will augment a lot of the jobs that we have right now. So what do we do? What do we do? And I know there'll be questions about, "Ooh, so how do we do this? How do we make sure that our jobs won't be replaced?" Because you don't know that. You don't know that. So how do we, and this is my difficult at the next slide. So how do we future proof our talent? when we don't know what the jobs are. So I mean, this is my take, and it's a very simplistic take. I mean, I'm sure there we can have spent another what one whole day talking about it from many perspectives, but I'm just offering a few key points about how do we ensure that we at least have a fighting chance of making sure that we are that the transition from from the carriage base or from the horse based economic foundation to this to the motor, there was an analogy of the past to where we are right now, which is how do we make the transition into an AI enabled, AI based jobs, right? So the first thing is awareness and acceptance, yeah, which I believe there is some level of awareness, but there's still a question mark. People always say will there. It will not be a will there, it'll be a how will it, right? So of this big shift, I call it the big shift. Now, and I believe that when we don't know what jobs will look like, then we have to look into more of the skills, and we talk about thinking skills, and I've chosen here, and this is based on the kind of experience that I see in my career and what I see right now with the with the people that we are hiring in SkyMine, and also with the kind of people I'm also chair of Heriot Watt University, the kind of people that we are trying to develop also in Heriot Watt, the future leaders. These are the people that need to have thinking skills of critical thinking, problem solving, and creative thinking. How to solve the big problems, just like how we did the VPAS, for to solve the simple problem, the big but simple problem of frequent testing. So the next one is about behavioral skills. And I have chosen two, which I think is really important: the art of storytelling and the art of collaborative skills. Because there is no way that you will ever be able to be the best and know everything. Things are moving so fast. Subject matter expert is somebody who knows how to surround him or himself with subject matter experts. And that also will be transient. You could be an SME or subject matter expert today, but tomorrow, the whole subject could have been changed, and you have to evolve and you have to keep yourself abreast. Storytelling is important because in a world where things are moving so fast, a lot of uncertainty, the person who is able to come forward and really be able to convince with conviction, be able to say, these are the people who are able to bring innovation to fruition. You can have the best innovation, but if you don't know how to actually storytell it, you don't know how to convince it, you don't know how to get people, you cannot get funding, you cannot get people to adopt. So many things hinges around the concept of being able to. And why is storytelling is basically because you have to tell the story of your vision, you have the story of what you want to do, right? So these are the key things around the skills. And I think now again, it's a concept we spoke about for so long: lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is a concept that people speak about, but have we really embraced it? And I would really go and find out, if I have the time, if I have the I would like to do this, which is to go and find out how many Malaysians have actually gone in and say, look, and enrolled into courses, the open, things like Coursera and so on. How are you keeping yourself abreast with what's happening? I mean, you talk about, if you're an accountant, do you know what people are talking about? How accountancy is going to be, the job accountancy, the fact that you can have machines now, auditors, you can have machines now to do digital auditing. You will unleash a set of algorithms, and these are the people that were able to find out. So how is the role of the auditor or the accountant now going to evolve when you have something like that? Are you at least reading about it, right? So and I think so. This is what needs to happen, but whether or not it is happening now. So that is on talent. Now, the last one is about the adaptability of policy making, and I'm saying this from the perspective of future proofing our talent, because I am really concerned about certain policies that says, for instance, that in order for you to you, like, say, if you want to apply for some funding, some funding from government agencies, and I will not say where, I will not name names, but some of the criteria there still states that you must do X% or 70% classroom training for you to be able to issue a course degree, let's say in universities, there is regulation to say that you must do how many percent in face-to-face classroom. So I mean, these are the kind of policy making that has a lot of. I mean, I know why they were needed then, but when things change, how fast is policy making going to be adaptive and be able to change? And that is what brings me to the next topic, which is what I think, apart from talent, this is another big impact of AI that we need to look at, which is the impact, what I call, you go to the next slide, what I call the algorithm dilemma. The algorithm dilemma, and if you recall, I'm not sure whether you remember, but you should remember this. How many years ago, there was United Airlines had a huge amount of backlash because they decided they overbook a flight, and they decided to bump off a few people, and one of them was a Vietnamese doctor. And when he refused to get bumped off because he according to him, he had a surgery or he had patients the next day, so he couldn't get bumped off, and the security and the crew got so rough with him, and and somebody videotaped it, and it was a huge outcry the next day. And United Airlines lost all the stock price, lost a lot of market capitalization. I believe the CEO were sacked, and then the chairman had to step down. So it was a massive, massive hue and cry, and it was said then that it was a crisis of customer service. But what a lot of us are thinking is that, and that there's a lot of truth to this, it was actually the crisis of the algorithm, because it was the algorithm that actually determined, based on set of judgment, set of data analytics, to say that it was that Vietnamese doctor who is to be bumped off. What could it be? It could be, I mean, it was random, but I think there was it could also be, and again, this is no way to verify this, but it could very well be that the data picked up based on certain algorithms of the past, certain data sets of the past, that says, that has put the Vietnamese doctor, I mean, that guy, can't remember his name, to be in the higher list of to get bumped off. So, and this is where we talk about algorithms, and I mean, AI now is being used do to do jobs admission or job selection. It is being used to look at how parole is being approved. But how does one know what were the algorithms based on? So if there were already biasness, if there was already biasness, for instance, if the AI based off data, we all know that. So if the data of the past had given, let's say, for instance, had given women a disadvantage, because yeah, there were not many women who were able to become, let's say, a pilot. So when there is an algorithm to choose a pilot, because it was based off the past, then maybe a woman who is really able to become a pilot is given a disadvantage. So I think the point is that the kind of algorithms needs to be transparent. And I want to give an example, which is my favorite example. If some of you who may have heard me talk about it before, but can you go to the next slide, please? This is an example about policy making and algorithms, and this is about a driverless car. Can you imagine you are sitting at the back being driven in a driverless car, and it was late at night, and you have got uh, next slide. You have got on the left hand side, there is a man, an old man on a stick, and on the right hand side there is a kid that is playing. There's a kid with a football. I mean, with a ball. And it's very important that, first of all, that data needs to be collected to make sure that the driverless car knows that that is actually a kid, not a fire hydrant, and that is actually a man, an old man, not a tree. But that is a separate matter. It's about the authenticity of data, which is what is happening right now. All the driverless cars, there is a huge effort around data collection to prepare for driverless for autonomous vehicles. But what I want to talk about now is a scenario where, let's say, there is a can you go to the next slide? There is a dog that suddenly crosses the road suddenly, right? And the car needs to make a decision. Now, if you are in the car driving it, it was a spontaneous decision. what would you do? Would you actually just slam the brakes so that, and then, put me in danger because I'm behind in the passenger seat? Or would you swerve to the left because you want to save the kid? Maybe you have this you have tender feelings towards kids, and then you will swerve towards the left to kill the old man. But maybe you have a lot of uh, you know uh, you have a lot of sympathy for the elderly, therefore you swerve to the right and put the kid at danger. But the point is that, I mean, if you're doing it spontaneously, nobody would actually fault you if you were to do any of this, because it's spontaneous split of the second decision. But now it's a driverless car, somebody's writing that algorithm. Somebody is writing that algorithm to what to do. Do I save the dog? Do I save the human? Do I save the old man? Do I save the kid? Now, and that is not an easy decision, obviously. And I don't know what the answer is. But the point is that this kind of algorithms has to be put to forth, has to be transparent. And who is making that decision, what decision is being made, has to be discussed openly. And that is now why there is this whole discussion around auditing algorithms. There are companies already existing right now in the US that does auditing of algorithms. And there are calls about having a body, to be able to not put this kind of decisions in the hands of tech geeks. I mean, at the end of the day, the person who writes this are basically, AI engineers, learning models, and and do they have the absolute power to this? Without question, because, oh, it's from AI, therefore it has to be right. Is being written by humans. So I'm really passionate about this, and this is why I talk about this a lot. But I especially want to talk about this with this topic because it's a topic for women, right? And women, uh, needs to come forward to ensure that we are engaged. So if you go, that's my last slide, and I do want to end here at the last slide. Go to the next slide. Next one. Yeah, so this is it. I'm calling because of the topics that I talked about. I mean, okay, so the first one, we talk about the world of AI, and I know you're convinced, otherwise you wouldn't be in this conference. And and I assume, and I know you have been given all the exposure for the last 5 days of how it's going to impact. And what I hope I have given you is just an example of how fast AI innovation can happen and really empower uh, companies such as SkyMine in Malaysia. I mean, you would think that this kind of companies will need to exist in the US, but it can happen in Malaysia. It can happen anywhere, provided you've got the people for it. And this is the race for AI enable. And these are the race for people who are able to produce AI solution innovation, and also the race for people who are able to adopt AI innovation, or yeah, to be early adopters. Because remember, when you produce it, there is an economic impact, but when you consume it, there's also this economic impact of between 14 to, or was it 14 to 16% of economic GDP increase. Right. So, and so that is why this is important. And for talent is important. I shared with you that it is not easy, but it can be done. And in the short run, it can be done, and it will evolve as we go along, and we are also evolving to find out more. I mean, trust me, we are evolving. Last month's strategy is different than this month's strategy, and that's how fast we have to move by the month. And I also spoke on the bigger perspective about developing talent for the future, and the fact that talent is going to be so different, and the approach to it has to be different. And I closed off also by talking about policy. And this is very important. So I've decided to choose these two. These are two of my important. The other one that I typically talk about, but I didn't choose to do it today, is about leadership in the world of disruptive innovation. What does it take? And this is something that I am working very hard with Harriet Ward University to develop what we call purpose driven leaders. And and I believe that we do have the talent in Malaysia. I truly believe in that. That is why I stayed put over 20 years, over 30 years, stayed put in Malaysia. And there are lots of problems of the world that can be solved, that needs to be solved. And a lot of the problems of the world are manifested in Malaysia. So, innovation is basically the art of creative problem solving. And, if there is this, you know, if Malaysia as a place that can actually replicate or can actually manifest a lot of the problems of the world, then by right we should be innovating if we have the talent. And that's why I had put the focus on the talent as well as on the policy. So that's it. I think I have taken up about 45 minutes. So I hope that was useful. And I wish all of you the best. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Over back to
Oh,
you, Doctor.
all right. So thank you very much, Dato Yasmin. Very inspiring talk. And I hope all the listener that out there enjoy these amazing presentations. Okay, now Dato will answer some questions that sent during the presentation. So the first question is, do you have any pipeline to enhance female participant in AI as your or as your talent pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, a pipeline. I don't know about what do you mean by pipeline, but we are when we go. If you look at the trenches, or the three pillars in I will speak about in SkyMine. We go to universities, and then we go to the current industry, and we really want to look for female. I personally believe in it. I am as I mentioned earlier, I believe I mentioned earlier, I am a woman advocate. I am very active. I very actively champion and advocate the 30% club. In fact, they are the people that actually introduced me to this forum. And uh, women needs to be engaged in, and because it impacts every aspect of our life, right? And talent, it will impact our families, it will impact our kids. And then on policy making, it will impact everything. How do we know? I mean, women are not leaned in and not engaged, you will not get the whole perspective of what needs to be done. So that's why I said that we need to be engaged. But do we have any to female person? Absolutely. In SkyMine, if you look at our some of our engineers, we have some amazing women engineers in SkyMine. And we just recently, I believe, we actually had a women in AI. I think it was the forum same, because it was all the women engineers, the AI engineers in SkyMine came together to actually inspire. But the fact is that women, I'm not many women are. First of all, there's a declining percentage of people who want to go into the world of the sciences. When you want to go into AI, fundamentally maths, yeah, maths is very important. Um, and a lot of women just shy away from maths. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the non-mathematical or the non-scientific, with the social sciences. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also don't know why people don't want to get into the sciences. Coming from a science, from a tech geek myself. So what I have, you have to really look into maths. Maths is a very strong foundation for you to get into. In Dr. Sharifah Sakina, you know that, right? Maths is very important when you go into data sciences. Statistics is also very important. So, but we have very, the pool to get talent from this is actually not as big, and that concerns me. So we want to encourage actually more women to not look at AI as a science subject, but look at it as a way to solve problems. Maybe that way, because women love to solve problems, right? We are problem solvers by nature. So if you look at it as a means to solve problem, and just get into maths and get into the statistics as a means to solve problems, maybe that will actually tune, and that will expand maybe expand a little bit more the pool for us to get female talent from. Yeah. So I hope that answers a bit of your question, Fairuza.
Okay, so thank you very much, Dato. Can I have another question for you, Dato?
Yes, please.
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah, this one is from Mark. Okay. AI can be costly. How would the economic gap impact its adoptions? For example, if more autonomous vehicles are being used, would normal cars still be allowed on road? Could this cause discrimination?
Hmm. Good question. Good question. So, to answer that question, there are many, many ways to answer that question, Mark. So, I would then, and that is why I get asked this kind of question a lot. So that is why I use that analogy of the horses to the motor carriages, right? If you look at it, yeah, they were the same kind of questions. And it was true. In the beginning, the cars were being used more as a for the elite. The motor vehicles were more for the elite. But guess what? And I mentioned that earlier, humans will find a way to bring innovation to market. And what will happen as the critical mass goes in, as people get smarter, people will look at not only the technology aspect, because yes, if you look only at autonomous cars in itself, you give an example there, then yeah, it will be costly. But what will happen when you start using, let's say, autonomous cars with electric vehicles? And that is where the world with that is where the innovation, the research, or the trend is going. Autonomous cars, which is basically about a machine in the, an AI engine in the car plus an EV. This is where the innovation is coming. And when you combine the two, you're creating it may not just be about cost. It is also about sustainability. It's also about environmental, right? So this is about the future, and God knows, and who knows what is going to be the future. But innovation will find its way to solve the problems, right? And companies who are existing needs to be able to move with it. So why do you think ExxonMobil is no longer in the top 10 of market capitalization? It's because they have not been able to get into the to be able to evolve. And that is why I talk about, whenever there's innovation, there is the disruptor, there's the disruptee. So if we do not embrace it, and I'm not saying that we're not going to go and adopt autonomous vehicles tomorrow and get rid of normal cars. It will happen. It will happen gradually. It will happen, but you know what? It will happen gradually, but mark my words, it will happen faster than you think. We will not have the kind of luxury of the horses making way to the motor carriages. That took how many years and decades? This will be in much shorter time, because of the speed of innovation that is going to mainstream really fast. And I gave the example about the V Pass that was innovated in our backyard, literally in our backyard in Malaysia, in Sky Mine. It was done in 2 months, less than 2 months. I mean, we heard about this frequent testing, and we heard about people opening up the economic sectors, but they could not go in there. And it was us, my son wanted to go out for steak in a restaurant. Yeah, it opened up with SOP, with fully vaccinated, but I still worry inside there, because the virus is still there, and we'll be living with the virus. That until, I still am worried. So how do I get in with confidence? Through that problem, we ideated, we came up with it in less than 2 months. And so will it cause discrimination? It will, but it will not be a discrimination of the people with, because technology will go cheaper. Yeah, technology will find its way to become more cost effective. So it will not be a discrimination. It will not be the gap of the people who have money or no money. It will be a gap of people who wants to adopt and who do not want to adopt. It'll be people who embrace it, early adopters, or people who deny it. Okay, so Mark, so that's the best question I have, because it's a very philosophical question. I hope that
Okay.
answers it.
Yeah, actually, we have a lot of comment here for Dato. Actually, maybe I can take one or two. So you can see here from Ellie AD, innovation is the art of creative
Innovation.
problem. Yeah, and then we also have here Nurul Huda, very interesting talk, Dato Yasmin.
Thank you,
Okay,
Nur.
yeah, and then actually we have more people are commenting on this actually live. So, but we are at the end of our session, Dato, because we have another session after this for award ceremony.
Yes.
So, I think That's all for me. I think to conclude this speech, Dato, I'm thank you for your all your valuable or your sharing session today. Is a very interesting. I mean, can inspire me also as a woman, and as I mentioned to you before this, actually. Maybe we can have a same background because I'm come from mathematics also and then join computer science, and then actually it's a very inspiring to me, and I think this is also happened to all the participants out there. Without that, I think we can end this session. Thank you very much, Dato. Anything you want to say
Thank
after?
you. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me. And I want to wish everybody all the best. Stay safe.
Okay, thank you very much. So,
Thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen, we will stop a while before we have our award ceremony. So, stay tuned with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, being here, made it without missing your flights. It was in two cases very close, but yeah, I'm really proud of you. It was so hard to getting everybody from all around the world.
Women in AI is a platform where women come together to share, learn about artificial intelligence. It's also a great way for women to support each other and to make sure that everyone feels like they belong somewhere.
Women in AI is a really impactful network for me of women who come from different backgrounds, from different academic backgrounds, working with AI and wanting to contribute to a more diverse and equal future.
WAI Summit was an opportunity for me to meet our ambassadors from all over the world, to discuss also and brainstorm about the path that Women in AI should take with the leaders of Women in AI in different countries.
Women in AI is a super interdisciplinary, diverse network of women and men who want to change the current setup where we have a huge gap among women professionals in the field of AI.
I'd encourage people to join because it's an opportunity to meet a lot of people at once and learn a lot from a lot of people.
You can know like a very good people, like it's not really a tech people in the Y, but also we have some business marketing people that are using AI for like others for business, something like that. So amazing people. If you want to work with them, then that's why.
For me, Women in AI is the way to share knowledge, the love I have for AI, and grow the community, empower female, and help them to get to know this world and how accessible it is for people with different background, with different opportunity to close the gender gap.
They'll be the face of Women in AI in their local communities, and they'll help spread the word about our initiatives and empower other women across the world.
By Summit we discussed so many ideas, but also the points that we need to address in order to bring more efficiency and more power to our organizations. It was beautiful time to connect with peers, Amsterdam team, because some members are from Amsterdam, but also the ambassadors from other countries, learn from their successes, learn from their examples, benefit me personally as ambassador with some inspirational ideas for my country. You know what, just rock and roll, because we are awesome.
So this is the first time we're organizing a Women in AI Summit. We have brought all the ambassadors that we have in 17 countries together to share, connect, learn, and inspire each other.
Empowerment.
Way to go.
Inspiring.
Empowering.
Multi-potential.
Unique.
Future.
So what are you waiting for?
AI is a super exciting field. If you want to be part of this change, join us.
Hi, I am Faruza Amira.
Hi, I'm Gita.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Sakinah Ahmad.
Hi, I'm Khalida Jassi.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Nur Intan Raihana Ruhayim.
Hello everyone, I am Nur Zarin Zulkarnain.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Hamira Hania Abdurrahman.
Hi, my name is Farizana binti Hamza.
Hi, my name is Nurul Akila.
I am currently a data scientist at ST Microelectronics and Chief Operating Officer at Ever AI Technologies.
I'm also the founder of startup Jenga.
Currently, I'm Associate Professor in the Department of Intelligent Computing and Analytics, UTeM.
I'm also a statistician at WAI.
I am currently a Senior Lecturer at the School of Computer Sciences, University Science Malaysia.
Currently, I am a Senior Lecturer at the Faculty of Information and Communication Technology, University Technical Malaysia Melaka.
I'm also a Senior Lecturer at the Faculty of Industrial Management, University Malaysia Pahang.
And currently a second year student of Bachelor degree of Computer Science in Artificial Intelligence at University Technical Malaysia Melaka.
Currently a final year student of Bachelor degree of Computer Science in Artificial Intelligence at University Technical Malaysia Melaka.
Women in AI is awesome,
engaging,
remarkable,
passionate and dedicated,
and a great platform for building friendships.
So let's join Women in AI Malaysia Summit.
Okay, so hi everybody. Hope you enjoy meeting me again as your MC today. All right, so actually now is the time we have been waiting for. The result for our two competition are ready with me. Okay, so before I call upon the person that very in what we call that VIP to announce the winner, let us recall back what is our competition, two competition. The first one is actually UTeM Datathon. It's just a virtual challenge to tap into participants creatively as well as to expand networking skill while interacting with people of different background and expertise. So all the participants are required to analysis, explore and output an interactive dashboard using the provided database. A thing or two to remember actually during this is to always work in a team. So this is actually the important of Datathon. We have to work in a team and to have fun. So before we had our prestigious award, let thanks the awesome people who made this event happen. So our Why My Summit at UTeM volunteers are very best. please give them, I don't know whether you can clap your hand or thumbs up for all the volunteers who have given their time and effort to make this program a success. Also today, would not be possible without the amazing generosity of our official program sponsor, Microsoft Malaysia, and all our partners. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you all have been waiting is finally there. So please welcome Prof. T.S. Dr. Rabia Ahmad, the Dean of Faculty of Information and Communication Technology, UTeM, is actually will announce the award for Datathon.
Hi, Assalamualaikum PM Sakina. How are you?
Yeah, you good. Alhamdulillah, Prof. So you want to have a talk, meaning that two, 3 words before we have our winners
Oh, I
announced.
thought that my task is just to announce.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought that my task is just to announce. But anyway, Assalamualaikum and good day, distinguished speakers, Datuk Yasmin Mahmud, Dr. Fairoza Amira, Director Y, and Dr. Nur Zarin, our energetic young lecturer who made Y 2021 reality at UTeM, and also Dr. Sakina, PM Dr. Sakina, Associate Professor Dr. Sakina. First of all, well done to you all, and let us praise to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala because of His blessing. This event, I think, I'm surely successfully end. Inshallah. And I'm sure that every one of us have gained much information and contact, also a new insight to bring back home, even though we are at home now. And last but not least, thank you to the team and for all the hard working, and hope we can continue this effort for future. Yeah, thank you. While waiting for the announcement, I think the winners will be announced soon. Yeah, PM Sakina. Yeah, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. All right. So actually today, the UTeM Datathon, the theme is optimizing vaccination through data and AI. So actually we have this datathon on the 15th September, last Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So it's a very short datathon, but I think the participant is very good. They have come up with a very good dashboard and also insightful information about the data. Okay, so move to the next slide, please. So this is actually our juries. It's from UTeM. So thank you very much to all our juries that help us to give a very important view about all the participants. Then, next. And finally, the judges. Actually, first of all, the jury will do the shortlisted, and then we come up with 5 top, meaning that top groups, and then they will go into the process of pitching about their dashboarding. And then here the 3 important judges that help us to finalize, put the numbers for the winners. So thank you very much, Mr. Azham, Dr. Siti Azira, and Dr. Fairoza. Next, please. Okay, now is the time to announce the winner. So let's call our dean to announce the winner. All right, Prof, can you help us to announce the winner? All right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So now, this is for number third place, right? PM Sakina.
Yes.
Yeah. There is. You want me to read from the slide? Is it?
No, it's okay. So this is the third place.
Okay. So the third place goes to alright. Team number 7, Lee Zi Yuan, Lok Rui Ki, and Nurul Izzah. topic correlation between social media sentiment analysis and vaccine registration rate. Congratulations to team number 7. Second place, the team will bring back 750 ringgit, and it will goes to team number 1, and the members is Nur Afika binti Mahizan and Lim Wen Ni. The title for the project, COVID-19 vaccination data. Well done to the team number 1. Wow. So the champion will bring back RM 1000, and tomorrow is Saturday. So you can do so many things with this amount, and it goes to, I'm still waiting. I thought that I'm going to ask my girl to play piano, Okay, now the team Data Aficionado. Yeah, am I pronounced correctly?
I think so, Prof.
Okay, Zahida binti Muhammad Raushin, Anis Suraya binti Mat Naji, Izzati Ilyas, with the topic vaccination progress in Malaysia. Well done to the team, and well done to all the winners. So enjoy your success. I think we have another more.
Yeah, I think that's all, Prof. Rabia. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, thank you.
For your time. All right. So actually, congratulations to all the winners. So now we come to the second competitions that we call AI Lab Hackathon. Actually, in this competition, the theme is related to the female empowerment with AI. So there is a sub-theme here, accessibility. So actually, the competition also held at the same time. It's a parallel competition actually. We have Datathon, and then at the same time, we also have AI Lab Hackathon. So they work together in a separate room, actually a virtual room, and then they come up with a very interesting idea and innovations. All right, so if I want to talk about AI Lab Hackathon, this is actually the mentors. So actually each of the group have their own mentors, come from Microsoft, and they will discuss about their topic and how to come up with a good innovation regarding their related to AI applications. Okay, so move to the next. Next slide, please. All right. Back, I want to introduce the judges. Okay, so this is actually the judges. They come from different background. The first one is actually Dr. Zaharuddin Mansor. He's a National Technology Officer, Microsoft Malaysia. Second judge is actually Umi Hassana, Executive Policy and Program in Women Empowerment Institute. And then the third one is actually TS Dr. Zaratul Izzah Muhammad Yusof, Senior Lecturer in the Department of Intelligent Computing and Analytics, University Technical Malaysia, Melaka. So next slide. Okay, now is the time for us to listen to our lovely lady. Maybe I can call upon Millie Yong, all right, to announce the winner. But before that, you have anything you want to say before we announce the winner, Millie?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm on behalf of Microsoft. I'm very honored and humble to be invited for this closing ceremony, as well to announce the winners. So just now I saw a professor talk. She's very humor, right? I like her a lot. Especially, I also joined in for the closing ceremony the speech from Dr. Yasmin was very good, right? Amazing, and as well as very aspiring. And she was my career mentor.
Okay.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah, we need a mentor, right, Millie? Especially as a woman in
Correct,
UTeM.
correct. She was my career mentor for 10 years ago. So sometimes we still keep in touch, but of course, right now we couldn't come out, dine in or what like usual days. So I miss her a lot.
Okay, good. So now actually we can move to the winner announcement, Millie. All right. So next slide, please. All
Okay,
right.
so we will start with second runner up, third place. Okay, 500 ringgit. It goes to Sheikh Hassan, Yo Jacqueline, Huda. The topic is AI to assess and assist patients with dementia. Congrats.
Okay, congratulations. Next.
Congratulations. Next, first runner up, Ringgit Malaysia, 750 ringgit. Here, it goes to Kavidaran Pinagaran, Chen Jinjian, Hun Han Sing. The topic is empowering women in rural communities with smart technologies. Congratulations to all the winners. Okay, last. Okay, champion, first place. The music. Drum, okay. It goes to Muhammad Fidras, Muhammad Khairi, Dr. Anusha Achutan. Topic is memory eye care. Congrats.
Okay. So thank you very much, Millie, for your time and also your involvement in this time in this summit. Hopefully, we can meet together again, but maybe face to face, not virtual. I hope so. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I think, as a saying goes, to every beginning there is an ending. All right. And now the ceremony comes to its end. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for gracing our ceremony with your presence. We truly appreciate it. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to apologize if have done any mistakes throughout the event. Please allow us to end my duty as MC for today event with few pantuns because we are from Malacca, right? So we have some pantun to share with you. So the first one is merdu bertingkah alunan suara, kadang tak sedar tersilap kata. Andai terlanjur patah bicara, serendah hati kemaafan dipinta. Okay. So, I think that's all from me, ladies and gentlemen. We end our session. Hope to see you next time, maybe in Y Malaysia Summit at UTeM 2022. So see you there later. Bye-bye.